Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andrew Stott, I'm the Emperor of Stomaria, and today I'm very pleased to announce that the Kingdom of Norwick has officially become our first observer state. So observer states are something that we introduced very, very recently, and this was our way of being able to include micronations that don't have privately owned land, because previously we had provinces, protectorates and associated states, and the common theme throughout all of those different types of territory was that it involved privately owned property. Which is something that we're very hot on in Stomaria when it comes to micronations that claim land as opposed to actually own land, something they can utilise and be able to use to promote their values and objectives, whereas you can't do that with publicly owned land like a public park or a town or city. You need privately owned property in order to advance your values and objectives for the most part. And the observer state was introduced as a way of being able to include micronations who don't have private property, who don't have privately owned land, but nevertheless want to become involved in Stomaria. They want to be able to interact with fellow Stomarians, they want to be able to be included in the sort of the commercial trading network that we're looking to build, because even though they don't have land, they may still be able to engage in a trading relationship with other micronations within Stomaria, and they're certainly able to help towards building a real-world community. So that was something that we introduced in order to allow micronations without private land to get involved in Stomaria. And the Kingdom of Norwick, they are the first. They're the first observer state. I am hoping against hope that I am pronouncing it correctly. I think it's the Kingdom of Norwick. I'm sure I'll be corrected if I'm mistaken. But Queen Mika of the Kingdom of Norwick has become a Stomarian citizen. I had a conversation with her about how long Norwick's been around, whether or not they've changed their flag, their name and all the rest of it, because we have a bit of an informal system when it comes to defining a qualifying micronation, because there are still criteria that micronations have to meet in order to become even an observer state. And that revolves around longevity, it revolves around consistency, maturity, the actual territory, which isn't necessarily applicable for an observer state, and suitability. And I will make a video exclusively about how to become an associated state, an observer state, or a protectorate, the qualifications, the criteria that we're looking for in order to for a micronation to join Stomaria. I will make a video exclusively about that topic another time, but needless to say, the Kingdom of Norwick was, it ticked a lot of boxes for us. Obviously it didn't have the private property. They are actually based in New Zealand, which again makes a trading relationship or even building a real-world community quite difficult. But as an observer state, it's sort of the entry-level tier, if you like. So we are a bit more relaxed when it comes to the qualifications and the criteria that a micronation has to meet in order to become an observer state. But even when they are obviously a qualified micronation, there are various terms attached to that, which are on a website. And again, I will make a video on the actual terms that all observer states, all protectorates, and all associated states need to adhere to. But they will include, for example, the highest authority of that micronation, be it a president or a queen or a king or whatever it may be. They must become and remain a Stomarian citizen. They can't have formal relations with other micronations outside of Stomaria without our knowledge and approval. They can't bring Stomaria into disrepute through whatever nefarious activities that they might undertake. So these are all things that we've considered quite carefully, and again I will make a video on this later on. But regarding the Kingdom of Norwick in particular, like I said, they are a micronation that's based in New Zealand. They were founded over a year ago. Queen Mika has become a Stomarian citizen and quite diligently and concisely answered all of the questions and the queries that I had, and I was very satisfied with those answers. They've never changed their flag, they've never changed their name, and even though they're not in a position at the moment to engage in a trading relationship with other micronations within Stomaria, or Stomaria itself, they do have the capacity to trade on a tokenized basis, I suppose would be the way to call it. But they're interested primarily at this time in just formally affiliating with Stomaria, which I think is great, because it shows that even if there is no tangible benefit necessarily in becoming an observer state for, within Stomaria, there are micronations and micronational leaders out there that still feel that it is worthwhile doing, that affiliating with Stomaria is something to strive for, to be, to be proud of. And that's very encouraging to me, because it shows that we're doing something right, we're on the right tracks. And so the idea is here that the Kingdom of Norwick, as an observer state, will now form a part of Stomaria, but not its territorial empire. It'll form a part of the wider trading hub going forward, and once they actually have their own land, which they are striving to do, which again is another big plus for me, then they will hopefully be able to generate something on that land that we will be able to trade or engage in trade with. And that is the game plan, because the Empire of Stomaria is trying to build an empire of commerce, an empire of trade, an empire of enterprise. That is the kind of empire that we're looking to build. And the idea that we can bring micronations together, both micronations with private land and without, and sort of just build that community, build that, that trading network, that is something that I'm desperately trying to strive for. And Stomaria really does fill in the missing piece with that, with the Stomarian Stata, which again, I'll have an update with those very shortly. Hopefully we'll be receiving them in the next week or so. But again, I've made a video about this before, about the Stomarian Stata being this almost a unifying factor within for the micronations within Stomaria, in that it is, it is the first micronational money that will actually be used for genuine commerce and genuine trade. And that's very exciting for me, and it's very exciting for everyone involved in Stomaria. And that sort of unifying factor, that desire for trade and engagement and community, that's what's driving this all forward. And I am hoping that we get additional observer states, additional associated states, and obviously our own provinces and protectorates as well. And yeah, I think this is just a good step forward, a good step in the right direction. And I just want to thank Queen Mika for doing us the honour of becoming the first observer state within Stomaria, because, it is quite hard for micronations to, I don't know, I suppose swallow their pride and sort of become a part of something larger, in a meaningful way, that is. I mean, in terms of, joining a micronational organisation, for example. I have my own views on that. Again, I'll make a video on that very shortly. but in terms of joining something that actually adds real-world benefit to all the micronations involved, or attempting to add real-world benefit to the micronations involved, is something that is, you know, I think quite rare, and something that we're very proud to be, you know, pushing on with. So if you do happen to be in New Zealand, then please feel free to drop us an email or a message, and we'll let Queen Mika know. And maybe, you know, who knows, you could be next door neighbours to, you know, the Kingdom of Norwick. And, you know, you might be able to join the Kingdom of Norwick, and you might be able to join Stomaria through the Kingdom of Norwick. And, you know, this is the idea. This is about, you know, micronations collaborating and cooperating and building a larger community, but in a so much more of a meaningful way than just a, you know, a micronational organisation which, you know, says, you know, we're here to strive for peace and unity and cooperation, but nothing ever happens with those sorts of things. This is something that we're striving to build a meaningful community with, a meaningful real-world community with real-world trading relationships, you know, between micronations with similar values, similar objectives, and a similar worldview. And if you are interested in becoming an observer state, if you don't have any land, or an associated state if you do, then please feel free to drop me a message. I'm sure we'll be able to, you know, work something out. We'll discuss the qualifications and the criteria. We'll discuss the terms attached to that. And yeah, I mean, again, if you're just looking to become a private citizen of Stomaria, please feel free to do so through our Patreon campaign, which is in the link of which I'll leave in the description below, as always. But otherwise, please feel free to give the video a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll catch you in the next one.